Ever felt the sting of betrayal from those you trusted most? It's a harsh reality many Sigma males face. Why is it that Sigma males, the lone wolves of society, often find themselves betrayed by their closest allies? As Carl Jung once said, loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to oneself. Sigmas, let's delve into the psyche of the Sigma male and uncover why betrayal seems to lurk in the shadows of our closest relationships. Hey there, Sigmas, grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's have a heart-to-heart about something that's been on many of our minds. Betrayal. It's a heavy word, isn't it? Especially when it comes from those we hold dear. But why does this happen to us, the Sigma males? Let's break it down together. 1. Selective social circles and perceived elitism. You operate on a principle that few truly understand: quality over quantity in relationships. You don't waste energy on superficial bonds. Instead, you cultivate deep, meaningful connections with those who align with your values. Your inner circle is small, but it's built on loyalty, trust, and mutual respect. However, not everyone sees it that way. To outsiders, your selectiveness can feel like exclusion. Some may interpret your reserved nature as arrogance, assuming you see yourself as superior. This misperception can breed resentment. People don't like feeling left out, and when they do, they sometimes lash out. This is where betrayal often enters the picture. Someone who once sought your validation but never fully gained your trust might turn against you out of spite. They may spread false rumors, attempt to undermine you, or try to force their way into your circle by deception. The irony, the very thing they resent, your high standards, is what prevents their betrayal from truly harming you. Your ability to discern true loyalty shields you. While they act from insecurity, you move with purpose. And in the end, those who betray you only reinforce why your approach to relationships is necessary. 2. The threat of unwavering confidence. Confidence is a powerful trait, one that commands respect, exudes strength, and sets you apart. However, not everyone sees it that way. For those grappling with self-doubt, your self-assurance can feel like a personal attack. Why? Because confidence is a mirror. It reflects both your strength and their insecurities. Instead of being inspired, some may feel threatened, misinterpreting your certainty as arrogance. In an effort to bring you down to their level, betrayal becomes their weapon. History is full of examples. Julius Caesar, betrayed by those closest to him, and even Jesus, whose unwavering presence incited jealousy in Judas. When people cannot match your energy, they may try to undermine it. They might spread false narratives, distort your actions, or even sabotage opportunities, all in a bid to reduce your influence. But here's the truth. A betrayal is not a reflection of your character. It's a testament to your power. True confidence remains unshaken by external forces. Instead of shrinking, continue standing tall. Those who betray you were never allies to begin with, and their actions only reaffirm that you are walking a path few dare to tread. Keep going, because the world respects those who refuse to bow to insecurity. 3. Misaligned expectations in relationships. In relationships, the balance between personal space and emotional closeness is crucial, but not always easy to achieve. If you're someone who values independence, you may find yourself unintentionally clashing with a partner who craves constant connection. This isn't just a personality difference. It's a fundamental need that, when misunderstood, can create deep emotional rifts. Psychologists refer to this as attachment style conflict. People with a secure or anxious attachment often seek reassurance through closeness, while those with an avoidant attachment prioritize autonomy. If these needs aren't communicated, one partner may feel suffocated while the other feels neglected. Over time, resentment builds. Feeling unseen or emotionally disconnected, a partner may seek validation elsewhere, not necessarily out of malice, but as an attempt to fill a void. Studies show that emotional dissatisfaction is a leading cause of infidelity, surpassing even physical attraction. Betrayal often stems from unmet emotional needs rather than sheer disloyalty. The key: open dialogue. Instead of assuming your partner understands your need for space, explain it. Reassure them that distance doesn't equal disinterest. Finding a balance between autonomy and intimacy fosters a healthy relationship where neither person feels abandoned or forced to look elsewhere for fulfillment. 4. Misinterpretation of intentions. Your straightforwardness is like a double-edged sword. While it cuts through deception and ambiguity, it can also slice into fragile egos. In a world where many prefer sugar-coated words, your honesty stands out, sometimes a little too much for comfort. People often ask for the truth, but what they really want is a version of it that aligns with their feelings. When your words don't conform to their expectations, they might perceive them as an attack rather than a gift of clarity. Psychologically, humans have a strong defense mechanism called the ego defense system. When someone's sense of self-worth is threatened, especially by direct honesty, they may react irrationally, feeling the need to even the score. This is where betrayal comes in. Instead of addressing their insecurities, they might undermine you in subtle or overt ways, all in an effort to reclaim their sense of control. History proves this pattern. Think of Socrates. His relentless questioning of truth led to his execution. Honesty has always been a lonely road, but don't dull your blade to appease fragile hearts. Instead, sharpen your discernment. Some deserve your candor, while others only seek validation. Choose wisely. 5. The burden of high standards. You set high standards, not just for yourself, but for those in your circle. This pursuit of excellence fuels your success, but not everyone shares your relentless drive, and that gap can lead to unspoken frustrations. Friends and partners may start to feel like they're constantly being evaluated, even if that's not your intent. Over time, this can breed insecurity. They might begin to see your standards as impossible benchmarks rather than inspiration. Instead of striving to rise, they may rebel in unhealthy ways, distancing themselves, lashing out, or even betraying you. Psychologists call this the self-sabotage response. When people feel they can't meet expectations, they sometimes choose to tear down the source of their discomfort instead of improving themselves. Betrayal, in this case, isn't always about malice. It's a desperate act of self-preservation. But here's the catch. This isn't a reason to lower your standards. The right people will grow with you, not against you. The challenge is finding those who see your high expectations as an opportunity, not a burden. Because when the right people enter your life, they won't feel inadequate. They'll feel inspired. 6. The challenge of emotional expression. Sigma males are known for their emotional self-reliance. You don't depend on external validation, nor do you feel the need to overshare your feelings. This independence is a strength, but it can also create distance in relationships. Vulnerability isn't your forte, not because you don't feel deeply, but because you process emotions internally rather than outwardly. Loved ones, however, often interpret this as a lack of trust or emotional investment. They may crave more open expressions of affection, reassurance, or deep conversations. And when those needs aren't met, they might look for emotional connection elsewhere. This doesn't always mean betrayal in the extreme sense, but it could lead to emotional affairs, resentment, or drifting apart. In psychology, emotional intimacy is one of the strongest bonds in relationships. Studies show that couples who openly share thoughts and feelings report higher satisfaction. While you may not naturally operate this way, making small efforts, such as verbal affirmations or active listening, can bridge the gap without compromising your independence. True strength isn't just in standing alone, but also in knowing when to let someone in. By mastering this balance, you maintain your Sigma nature while fostering relationships built on understanding rather than misunderstanding. 7. The envy of freedom. Your ability to navigate life on your own terms is not just a personal choice. It's a rare form of freedom that many secretly desire but few have the courage to embrace. Society operates on unwritten rules, dictating how people should behave, what paths they should follow, and even what success should look like. But you reject these constraints, carving out your own way with independence and self-reliance. This defiance of the norm unsettles those who feel trapped in the expectations placed upon them. Rather than seeking their own liberation, some project their frustrations onto you. Envy turns into resentment, and resentment can manifest in betrayal. History proves this. Julius Caesar was betrayed by those closest to him, not because he failed, but because his greatness outshined them. People who lack the courage to step outside societal norm may attempt to sabotage those who do. Their betrayal isn't about you, it's about them. They see in you what they wish they could be. But remember, true freedom comes with a cost, and the more you rise above the crowd, the more visible you become to those who wish to pull you back down. Stay vigilant, stay free. 8. The fear of losing you. Your independence is a double-edged sword in relationships. While it's a mark of strength, self-sufficiency, and confidence, it can also be misinterpreted as emotional detachment. Many people equate love with dependency. They feel secure when their partner needs them, but when you stand firmly on your own, they might question their role in your life. Psychologically, this stems from attachment theory. People with anxious attachment styles crave reassurance, and when they don't perceive enough from you, their insecurities take up. They may start thinking, what if they leave me? What if I'm not enough? This fear breeds self-sabotage. To regain control, some partners might betray you, whether through emotional manipulation, dishonesty, or even infidelity. Ironically, their attempt to guard against abandonment accelerates the very thing they feared. This is called self-fulfilling prophecy in psychology, expecting the worst, acting on that fear, and ultimately causing it to happen. Your challenge is finding a partner secure enough to appreciate your independence, rather than fear it. True connection isn't about control or dependency. It's about if someone views your strength as a threat instead of an asset, they were never the right person to walk beside you in the first place. 9. The struggle with vulnerability. For some, opening up is as natural as breathing. But for you, it's different. Vulnerability doesn't come easily. It's not about hiding secrets, but about protecting yourself from unnecessary emotional turbulence. This isn't just a personality quirk. It's a deeply ingrained survival mechanism. Sigma males and independent thinkers often develop this trait due to past experiences, self-sufficiency, or simply the need for control over their emotions. However, this self-imposed emotional fortress can create unintended consequences. People closest to you, friends, partners, or even colleagues, might misinterpret your reserved nature as detachment or secrecy. In a world where emotional expression is often equated with trust, your silence can be seen as a lack of connection. As a result, they may seek validation elsewhere, whether through attention from others or by betraying your trust to force a reaction. The irony. Your attempt to maintain stability and self-reliance can sometimes lead to instability in relationships. The key isn't to become overly expressive, but to strike a balance, allowing those who matter to see glimpses of your inner world. A well-placed moment of openness can reinforce trust, prevent misunderstandings, and ultimately protect you from the very betrayal you seek to avoid. 10. The intimidation of success. Success is often celebrated, but not by everyone. When you build something through sheer discipline and focus, your achievements can make others feel inadequate. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because they see in you what they lack in themselves. This can trigger feelings of envy, leading some to undermine you rather than applaud your success. Psychologists call this the tall poppy syndrome, the tendency to cut down those who stand out. It's a defense mechanism. Instead of confronting their own shortcomings, people may try to bring you down to their level. This is why betrayal often comes from those closest to you. They've witnessed your rise and deep down feel left behind. Consider historical figures like Julius Caesar, who was betrayed by those he trusted most, or Tesla, whose genius was met with sabotage rather than support. The same pattern repeats in everyday life. Friends who suddenly act distant, colleagues who downplay your efforts, or even family members who question your choices. The reaction is not about you. It's about them. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. True success isn't just about achievement. It's about staying resilient in the face of envy and staying focused on your path, no matter who tries to derail it. If this speaks to you, take a moment to consider the people in your life. Are you surrounded by supportive individuals or those who could betray your trust? Please share your opinions below, and don't forget to like for more insights into the world of Sigma men. Subscribe as well. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you at the next one.